Oh, that's interesting. So the chat doesn't update unless I click. Oh, there we go. Well, only person that's here, this is an opportunity to ask me questions, even if they're stupid. And I hope you can hear me, because I don't know. This isn't my usual setup. Almost everything is new except the camera. So, yeah. Also, I think I have allergies. I think I have some serious allergies kicking me. Anyway, if you have anything to ask, now's the time to do it. Otherwise, I'm going to go dig up some really crappy music to force you to listen to. There's always going to be a bell. So everybody can hear me. That's good. Ask away. Even if it's stupid, I want to hear it. So go for it. Otherwise, it's just some bald guy sitting in front of a camera hoping no one notices. My famous cough. I was wondering when that would come in. Let's see. In the meantime, if nobody's going to ask anything, I'm going to put some Twitter drama up on screen, because that's what you want, right? You're here for me to complain about people on the internet saying stupid things. No, believe it or not, I don't want. Okay, let's see. Interesting. I may have to unblock some people here. So everybody just sort of left, right? Okay. OBS is not set up properly. How fun. Oh, God. My stupid transition isn't even in here. Oh, where is it? Yes, that's the one I like. Stop being stupid. Here we go. Yeah. Check this out. I like this transition, if it'll do it. Okay. All right. I know that sometimes it takes people some time to see the stream exists and to show up and to ask things. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do, I'm watching the chat, ask in the live chat if you have anything to ask me or anything stupid to say for me to respond to. That would be great too. Or if you want to hear a dumb joke, I've got plenty of those as well. But what I'm going to do is go dig up some drama to complain about, because nobody's asking anything. So ask something or deal with Twitter drama. Hang on just a second, and we'll do that then, since nobody's saying anything. Let's see. Where are you? Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's see. I think they actually blocked me. So I can't pull up the drama because the person ran away. So oopsie. Let's see. Damn, that really sucks. What am I supposed to do with this? So I can't pull up the drama because they've kind of run away. Oh well. Let's see. First of all, I don't care about any of that. Yeah, don't really care. Wow. Yeah. I think there's not anything I can do. I don't have any alternate Twitter accounts, so how am I supposed to pull up any of the drama for you guys? Oh boy. Oh well. Honestly, at this rate, I should just play video games. Are we going to turn this into a shitty emulation stream? I have a bad feeling that's what's going to happen. Yeah. So, what do you think about someone on Twitter calling themselves Big Dog Enjoyer? Big Dog Enjoyer. That brings to mind for me a Rusty Cage song. If you don't know the one I'm talking about, it was banned off YouTube. But if you just go to not YouTube and you punch in something about Rusty Cage, white girls, you'll see. You'll see. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I can't find it anywhere. All right. Here we go. Oh, here we go. In a perfect world, what would you have the right to repair laws look like? Oh, fuck. Why is that stupid heart in the way? Look like if you could write or at least contribute. It's hard to say because writing laws is difficult. The problem with laws is that if you write them, anything that you don't cover in the laws is fair game for loopholes or whatever. But anything that you put in the laws to restrict whatever can have unforeseen consequences. So you have to be very careful because you cannot, it's very important with the whole right to repair thing that you remember, you're not entitled to another person's labor. That is just a general rule that everybody should live by. Excuse me, I seem to be having some indigestion there. You're not entitled to the labor of another person. So right to repair cannot extend to the point that an individual is basically a slave because the law says so. People have to have individual autonomy. Now, when it comes to large corporations bringing products to market, see, this is the thing. You've got libertarianism on one end, and you've got the stupidity of the fucking normie on the other end. And the problem is the normie doesn't care until it affects them so much that they can't avoid it. Whereas people like me see it coming and scream to the heavens that this is a major problem and you need to do something. You need to not buy this product, not buy this service, complain about it, whatever. And then the normie's just like, nah, I don't even see what you say because of corporations just, you know, throttling or whatever. But even if I do see what you say, well, what am I supposed to do? You know, it doesn't affect me. I don't care. It's not affecting me now with my 10-year-old Honda Civic. So why should I care about new cars having the ability for the government to shut it down? I'm not going to break the law. So I think in the end, the whole right to repair thing, in a way, the whole idea that you can pass a bunch of right to repair laws doesn't make sense because you can't force people to do work for you. But you also can't force people to stop being stupid and uneducated. So the solution, ironically, is education, which unfortunately is something the government's in charge of, and there's sort of a corporate government feedback loop. You see where this is going. I don't think that right to repair seems like something that would be very easily exploited by large corporations because they could comply with, but some small person not necessarily can comply with those laws. For example, let me give you an example. Is my video flickering out? Are you kidding me? Hold on a second. Are you serious right now? My video freaking out? Okay. Sorry about that. If a normal person has a small business, if there's video flickers, just ignore them. I'm sorry. Can't do anything about it. The cable's not the best. Sorry. If a normal person like me opens a small business, and let's say I just hand build in a garage. This is how Apple was actually started. If I hand build in a garage 100 computers, right to repair laws could say you have to provide manuals or support or the tools to provide service to them or whatever for X number of years. And what you end up with is a bureaucracy where, well, Google can do that or whatever, or Microsoft with their Surfaces can do that. But me, well, how do I guarantee that I can comply with the law? How do I guarantee that, 10 years onward, this handmade batch of laptops or this garage-made batch of laptops I make comply with the right to repair law? Well, I can't, because it's a small business. I don't even know if it'll be around in 10 years. So, and if you try to write in like, oh, well, this only applies to businesses of a certain size, well, now you have businesses fighting not to hit that threshold, businesses splitting up into divisions not to hit that threshold, and it becomes this stupid cat and mouse game. So I don't like the fundamental premise of right to repair laws because it's more regulation. More regulation means more government interference, means the big guys can comply, the little guys cannot. What would end up happening I could foresee there being right to repair insurance, where if you're a corporation, you're just a little guy in a garage making 100 computers for people, then how are you going to sell these computers to people and provide the support? Well, you need to pay a company an insurance policy that says that if you go out of business, this company will continue to provide it, which means that you're going to have to pay more money, which means you're going to have to make your product cost more. And because you're making them in such small batches, it's going to be a higher cost. Therefore, you inflate the cost of your product, and now all of a sudden, not only is your product so expensive that it's difficult to compete with Microsoft or Google or whoever, but you've also got, what was I saying? You can't compete with them on price, but also because you're so expensive, other people are just not going to buy it, because why would you buy a $2,000 computer instead of a $1,000 computer unless there was an extremely compelling case for it? And it doesn't affect me right now. Why do I care? It's red tape. It'll keep people like me from making an alternative and selling it to you. That's what it ultimately boils down to, dude. What is a heart bump? Are you talking about this? Okay. I have no idea what that just did. Yeah. Weird. What the? I don't use live chat very often, so I might be doing some weird stuff. Sorry. Anyway, I don't like regulation, because regulation means government interference in the market, which means people that are small can't comply without paying a bunch of lawyers, but people that are big can absorb that. So yeah, people like me, we're just screwed. You want another, you want something like the Framework laptop, but better? What am I supposed to do about it? How am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to make this for you? You're not going to pay $2,000 for a computer based on principle instead of $1,000. You're just not going to do it. This is actually a problem with a lot of things, that large companies can afford mass manufacturing scale, which means that large companies can produce products that disrupt, while small companies, because they can't produce as much, they can't produce it at as low of a cost, And some of these big manufacturers won't even talk to them because they can't put up enough money. So there's already a major lockout when it comes to technology, in that if you're small, you can't even get into the game. You have to put out a Kickstarter and get $500,000 before you can even think about it. You know, it's pretty rough. Oh, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Well, YouTube is full of shit. Hang on just a second. Let me tweak something. Because that doesn't seem quite right. We'll bump the CRF to 23 and see what happens. Idiots. Okay. Sorry about that. I fix it where they have a scale that is more mandated on products that rate products. Okay, you mentioned food labels, and that's a good analogy. So who labels the products regarding their repairability? The manufacturer. They make the labels, they get to label it. Now, what happened when food labels came out? Oh, you have to put the nutrition facts on the food. You have to put how many carbohydrates and fat, saturated and unsaturated, and now trans fats. Trans fats, by the way, are also large, usually male people that are exploiting the gender thing for profit. But you get the idea. So food labels, what they did is they took, say you've got 2 slices of pie or whatever. Let's say you got a small pie, just a little pie, right? Just little pie. So we take this little pie and we go, okay, this thing has like 12 teaspoons of sugar. It's got tons of sugar. So how can we make the pie not look like it's got so much sugar? Well, take this little pie and make the serving size like 1/6 of it. So now you've got a serving. You got a serving that's like this big, right? Just this itty bitty thing. It's the size of this microphone receiver or smaller. Something smaller than a deck of cards. That's the serving size. And then the servings per container is 6. And the serving size doesn't have that much. Okay, well that's cool. You know, except for the part where if you eat what you actually intend to eat instead of this fake serving size, then you're going to get a lot more than what's on the label. Because no one's going to eat a piece of pie that's itty bitty if they're fat fuck like me, right? Or even just a normal person's not going to eat a slice of pie that is itty bitty. They're going to eat a normal sized slice of pie or cake or whatever. So they're going to get whatever atypical sizes. See, that's the thing. Is that the serving size is a big exploit on the food label. Well, in the same way, manufacturers can pull that crap with the repairability. Oh, you have to break it down this way. Well, I'm sure that they can find some way. Like, hey man, if you take your Mac to the Apple store, the repairability is 10 out of 10. Way to go. Didn't work out very well. So yeah, food labels, nah, food labels not going to work, man. Damn, can you hear me? Can you even hear me on this thing? It's got to be quiet. It says you can. But yeah, if you think food labels are going to save you, you're dead wrong. And the reason you're dead wrong, food labels for repairability, because they can exploit that too. You can't just think about how someone's going to go through the stuff and follow the guidelines. You have to think about how they'll stretch the guidelines, how they'll manipulate the categories. It's something that I like to call straddling the gap. You've got this gap between what someone actually intended or what something technically means. You know, this is like the anchor of reality. And then you've got what is implied or what is what you assume based on that. And there's this gap in between them. So there's this technical spot here, and then there's this like understanding, like wider spot here. And what'll happen is people will go, oh, you're, a fine example of that is you're a racist. Well, that's over here because racist comes with all this implication that like you hate these kinds of people. But then no, you just have prejudice plus power. We're not actually saying that you're Le Hitler. We're saying that it's just prejudice plus power, bro. Don't get all worked up in a twist. The gap between what you actually think and what is technically correct, they'll exploit the crap out of that. You can't just do that. And, there's no actual serving size. Like, the serving size is the trick. What's a serving? It's a tiny bit. Well, how repairable is it? Well, we can fix it all the time. If you send it to us, it's very repairable. These parts can all be removed with a soldering iron. Bureaucracy's slow and tech is fast. As soon as you lay down the law and go, no, it can't be something that's repairable with a soldering iron. It has to be something that if a normal person opened it up, then they could fix it. They're going to find a way around that too. You can't just say that, oh, we have to label it, and any government red tape hurts little guys trying to make big guys go down the toilet. And that's the end of it. They'll always be able to exploit it. Man, I wish this room was more audio sealed. Anyway. Yeah, here. Oh, wait. Does this have a serving size? Oh, God. Okay. Let me turn on autofocus, okay? Some of you may have noticed in the CPU temperature video that I mentioned, I was talking about CPU temperature, but in the background there was this Four Loko jungle juice, right? So, here, let me see if I can get this to focus for you guys. Look at this. So I don't care about the alcohol facts, right? But look, right there. Serving size, 5 fluid ounces. 5 fluid ounces. Servings per container, 4 3/4. Do you think for 1 second someone buys this and they consume that much of it and then put it in the fridge? No, the fizz will go away immediately. No, they just chug this bastard. And there you go. Look at that. That's my serving size for the month. So there you go. Oh, I'm dead. No. But that's what I'm saying is like this thing, you immediately know. Whoever gets this, they're probably drinking it all in one sitting. It may be a long sitting. It may be 4 hours. I've had this for hours. It's still bullshit. Right? By the way, I can't find these anymore. It's almost impossible. So it's probably the last one. But yeah, the serving size thing is a great analogy. Thanks for bringing it up. Uh-oh. Let's see. Look at all those Google security. Oh my God, look at all these security alerts where I couldn't get this to work. Okay. Yeah. God almighty. That is so stupid. Okay. Oh, the government didn't outlaw them. They outlawed the... Okay. So here's the thing. A lot of people don't know this, but yes, Four Loko was outlawed. Except it was outlawed because it was alcohol and it was caffeine combined. So what would happen is you had a depressant, a pretty strong depressant, and a pretty strong stimulant together in one drink. So it would hop your system up. At the same time, it would pull your system down. So you would get really like psyched, but then you would also be getting drunk. So you'd be mad inebriated and full of energy. A lot of people couldn't handle it. So if you go out now and you purchase this banned Four Loko drink, there's no caffeine. It's just your average stupid alcohol soda. It's not a real Four Loko. It's just a brand, right? And honestly, it's not even that good. The Jungle Juice one's decent, but that's it. That the others are just it's like drinking battery acid and alcohol. They're really not that good. If all I could ever drink in my entire life is Four Loko, I'd drink a lot more water. Bleh. So yeah, it's a very different product. Would right to repair ultimately be a cultural shift? Yeah, of course. It's markets. It's always markets. Everything is markets. So it all comes down to markets. So people don't care because they don't have to care. It is pretty standard that you take the path of least resistance. So if I need a laptop that can do video editing, I'm going to get whatever I can get that is easy to get, that is the cheapest I can get, of course, that gets the job done. That turned out to be this Asus VivoBook here, okay, that I'm streaming this on, and I hope I didn't just knock everything out by lifting it. But that's this Asus VivoBook. This laptop was not my first choice, or second choice, or third choice. This laptop is not what I wanted. It is not ideal. Ideal would be a $2,600 17-inch 4K IPS gaming rig laptop with all the bells and whistles. But I picked what I picked because, even though it's Asus, notoriously, especially lately, if you've seen the Gamers Nexus and Louis Rossmann videos, notoriously shitty on warranty. It's Asus. Boo these days, even though I used to love them. Go look at my old videos, okay? There's an old Asus gaming, not even an old, it's an Asus gaming laptop that had liquid metal in it, and I repaired it, and I was pissed the whole time. So it's an Asus. Boo. It's a HS Ryzen 9. So it's not really a Ryzen 9. It's like a high-end Ryzen 7 ultra-low voltage type deal. It's nowhere near as fast as the desktop I've got in the other room. It's like desktop Ryzen 5 equivalent. So I'm not even going to pretend like this computer is amazing. It doesn't have a discrete GPU. It gets the job done pretty decently for video editing. 4K video editing, light effects, no problems. I could get a much faster rendering computer if I had more money to throw at it. But I don't. And in fact, now that I'm thinking about it, while I'm here, I'm still trying to pay for this stupid thing. So I'm going to put a shameless plug for Give Me Dollars right here. Because I used credit to buy this thing so that I could make more video crap for you guys. Anyway, that's my shameless plug. Moving on. Let's see what else we got going on here. So we were talking about what consumers are demanding. Let me get back to that. Consumers want what works for them. They don't care about things that don't affect them. Like, for example, okay, Microsoft Office is subscription for the most part, okay? There are perpetual license versions still available. I don't know the details because I don't care. But Microsoft Office, and one day they might be trying to make Windows subscription only. So, do you care? Well, for me, I care about owning my stuff. I'm also a mad pirate. I want to own everything and I don't want to pay for it. If I don't have to pay for it, I won't. That's the market, actually. If I can get it for free, why would I pay for it unless some overriding factor takes over? For example, I have given money to projects that I cared about, that I thought were doing good work. Independent studios making a neat game, I'll throw them some money. That's different. But I'm not keen on paying Microsoft for the privilege of being able to use my own computer hardware. So I'm not keen on paying for Windows. Fortunately, it comes free with every computer. And if it doesn't, then I can just run HWID and they give me a free license through their own licensing servers. So why would I pay for Windows? But that's market forces at work, you know. If I thought Windows was amazing and did a wonderful job as an overall operating system and did all the things that I wanted, maybe I would be willing to pay them. I'm not willing to pay them because they produce a shit product. And the only reason that I use shit product is because it's the only thing that actually does what I need to do. But I'm locked into it. There's a whole lot of crap that locks me into it. Why would I pay for shit? Just because it's shit that I can use to smash open a door I want to go through doesn't mean I'm not still fondling a bunch of poop in the process. And I'm not paying for the privilege of rolling my hands in turds. So no. And the problem is, normies don't care. Normies will cough up the money. Oh, you need Word. But Word is buggy and crashy, and you've lost a bunch of documents to it. You're still paying $99 a year for it, though, aren't you? Because you have to have Word. For some reason, you can't download LibreOffice because it's only 95% compatible. Some of the controls are in different places. Even though LibreOffice would work for most people's purposes. But people still pay $99 for Word instead of paying $0 for LibreOffice Writer because they don't know any better, they don't want to think about it, a whole host of reasons. And a lot of it really does come down to education. If people knew that they could get something that works almost as good for free and knew how to do it. But the problem is it worth it to them to have that knowledge? In a way, people are paying $99 a year for Microsoft Office 365 to not have to learn that stuff so they can focus on something else. One of the greatest things about humans is specialization. But one of the greatest problems with specialization is that now you're ignorant to everything that isn't your specialty in a lot of cases. I'm not one of those people. I know a lot about things that are not my specialty. I'm doing video work. I am literally shooting video for a feature film, okay? This is not, we're not talking like, oh, hey, me and some other YouTubers got together and we're making a $500 low-budget production. This is a Hollywood guy that lives in North Carolina, 45 minutes from me, okay? And I'm shooting a feature film with this guy. But it's only because I was willing to branch out from all the comfy things I know into new fields and learn things about them. The whole jack of all trades, master of none, master of one thing. Let's see. Cough, cough. Everybody keeps mentioning Windows LTSC. I won't run Windows LTSC. The reason being, I tried that out for about a day. And when I did it, and I tried to install a piece of software, because LTSC is such a far back version, the version number of Windows whatever LTSC, Windows 10 at the time, was held back for so far. The software I wanted to use, which I think was important, I think it might have been Premiere, actually, I don't remember, but there was a piece of software I needed to install, and it wouldn't run on LTSC because it was too old or something. If the software that you want to run, won't install, what's the point? It's too risky in the end. Besides, I can just use, once I've got the perpetual license thing down, there's also this activation method called KMS38, but if my stuff is working and I can stay slightly more up to date as required by the software I want to run to get things done, why would I get stuck with LTSC, which is a niche thing? Let's be honest, it's a niche thing. Most people don't use it. Most companies don't support it. And that's the problem, is that you can have the best operating system on the planet, but if you don't have any software to run on it, it doesn't matter. Software is always the problem. In fact, if you go and watch Ahoy, used to be Xbox Ahoy, but just Ahoy's video about how the Amiga languished, it's called Flatline. He discusses how Commodore made the Amiga, and the problem with the Amiga was that in the beginning they had all this stuff designed. They had this wonderful system set up. They had no software. Commodore themselves had to commission another company to write some of the basic software that they needed just to get the computer out, and not just be like, so here's a computer, it boots to a command prompt, you can't do anything with it, but command prompt? Please buy our product. So yeah, the Amiga actually suffered a lot in the early years because there was no software for it. And as software was brought over, it was shitty third-party ports from other machines that didn't take advantage of what it could do. And so for years, it just, I mean, the company almost went bankrupt. Not because the Amiga wasn't amazing, not because it wasn't well done, not because they didn't have the talent, but because the software support wasn't there. Software support is the thing. Why is it not the year of the Linux desktop? Because you can't run QuickBooks on it. You can't run Office 365. You can't run stupid Outlook on it. And nobody has an Outlook replacement on Linux. Where is it? Where's the Outlook replacement? Where can I get the stupid Microsoft Exchange 365 whatever linkage on Linux? Can Thunderbird do it? No. Then it's useless. And more crap is moving to Office 365 email, which makes me very angry. It's proprietary garbage, but more and more things are doing it. Even major hosting providers are kicking people over. GoDaddy famously dropped all of their standard email support and moved it all to Office 365 without asking anybody. You know, you're on Office 365 now. You have to reconfigure all your stuff for Office 365 now. Screw you, customers. Okay. Anything else? Anybody got any other questions? I do have to leave here in the next 30 minutes, so if you got them, throw them at me. It does take about half a minute for your questions to actually filter through to me. Okay. Yep, you brought it up. You brought up Microsoft 365. Okay. Microsoft 365 makes me so angry because for decades, users would call Office Microsoft or Windows Microsoft. And it's so ambiguous. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Now, we don't have Windows the product, Office the product. Now we have Microsoft 365 and we have Windows. Like, what are you people doing? You have made every user that called Office Microsoft for the past 20 years correct. Now, when someone says, my Microsoft isn't working, well, I still don't know if it's Windows or Office, but now it's actually a legitimate product. This is the kind of thing that could only be thought up by a bunch of random Indian guys at Microsoft who get on their stupid Microsoft Answers forum and go, oh, kindly please do a clean boot, and that's the way that they fix every problem. It's like, well, oh, just erase everything on your computer, lose all of your data and configuration stuff, and do a clean install. Wow, the problem's fixed? Okay, question closed. Next. Let's see. Librem phone. I don't know anything about alternative phones. I know nothing. I am, back in the day, early 2010s, I was a CyanogenMod user. That's it. That's it. Sorry. I don't know anything about alternative phones or free Libre whatever phones. Phones are so screwed. If you try to use phones that aren't Googleified or whatever, then you can't do something as simple as check your bank accounts. So what's the point? What even is the point? It's like the lockdown is so subtle. And if you comply with what the corporations want, you're good. But as soon as you step out of those bounds, oh, now you can't check your bank account. Oh, why? Because it's a security risk for you to be able to control your phone. For you to have root access to your phone, that's a security risk. Yeah, Windows, okay. Philip Mark, you mentioned Windows 11 and 12 with ads, that's the way it's going to be. This past month or quarter or whatever it is, Windows 11 gained market share. But here's the thing. Windows 11 gained market share, but Windows 10 gained more market share. Windows 11's been out for 2 years now. 2 years. And Windows 10 is gaining market share. So I want you to think about this. If both Windows 11 and 10 gained market share, and 10 gained more, a few key takeaways, and I've been meaning to make a video about this, and if you'd like me to make one, I will. Windows 11 gained market share, Windows 10 gained market share. That means Windows gained market share. That means someone else lost market share. Who lost? Mac OS, Linux. But Linux has been gaining market share too. So who is it that lost? Mac OS. People are moving away from Macs to Windows because Macs have problems too. But Mac's problems are the hardware. Now, don't get me wrong, and don't take this the wrong way, okay? Mac OS, at the core, Mac OS is not a bad operating system. At the core, Mac OS is actually very well designed and put together. There's a lot to admire about Mac OS. Non-upgradable hardware, extremely expensive non-upgradable hardware. FlexGate, the price is skyrocketing on Macs. This transition from Intel to ARM chips, causing software to not work on the new Macs. I've actually had a customer come in because they did not have Rosetta on their Mac, on their M1 or M2 or whatever Mac, their brand new one, and software that they had migrated over wouldn't run. And I was like, oh, it's Zoom. You just need to download the native M whatever Zoom client, right? Not complicated. But I had to do that for them. So people are running from Macs because they're realizing Macs are unrepairable, expensive, and it's actually hitting them. Because now us PC guys can't cheaply graft on solutions to the problems. And Apple stores have become, let me put it this way. You used to be able to get an appointment in an Apple store to see one of those geniuses relatively quickly, you know, within a day or two or three. Now, if you set an appointment at the Apple store, it can take weeks to get in to see these Apple geniuses that have all the exclusive access to fix the Apple stuff. So now they want to get help from Apple. They can't because they have to wait weeks. But I need my computer now, not in 3 weeks. So, okay, I'll go to this other guy. I'll go to this other guy. And what is the first thing he starts doing? Complaining about Apple. It's like, oh, no, I can't fix that. No, you don't understand. Your problem, I can't fix because I'm locked out of it by this corporation that you gave $3,000 for an unrepairable laptop. And as soon as they walk into some guy like me and hear all that crap about the computer, they might keep that computer, maybe. They're going to start moving somewhere else. So people are bailing on Macs because of the hardware and because of the company milking them to death. Money's tight right now for everyone because of inflation. Apple's getting squeezed. So Windows 10's beating out Windows 11 on growth, and they're both sucking away from Mac OS. And so is Linux too. Linux is taken away from Windows because people don't like the way Windows 11's going. So we're living in a very interesting time. My favorite Chinese curse is, may you live in interesting times. By the way, I had a customer come in. They had a 2015 MacBook Air, okay? They had an iPhone, relatively new. They had a MacBook Air from 2015, so 9 years old. iCloud photo stream wouldn't sync. Why wouldn't it sync? Oh, you have to be running the latest version of macOS or the immediate prior version of macOS. Otherwise, no photo stream syncing for you. But she wasn't told this. The way she found out is, why are half my photos missing on my MacBook Air? Why are the photos not there? They're on my phone. They're not on my MacBook Air. Where did they go? What's going on? And so I had to use a hack. I can't remember. I don't think it was DOS Dude 1. He has the hacks to get really old Macs up to like Big Sur and, you know, what do you call it? Catalina or whatever. But I had to use one of those really complicated boot hack things that gets it to where you can put like Mojave on a Mac that's 9 years old. And the only thing she couldn't do was, the feature that didn't work was, God, what was it? There was one thing that would crash photos, but everything else worked, and it synced her photo stream fine on this unsupported Mac. But yeah, it's just, Apple's bad, man. And people are realizing it, and they're just like, you know what? I can't deal with this anymore. I may as well just go through the trouble of transitioning to PC. And what do they get when they do that? They get Windows 11. So people who bail on Mac OS end up with Windows 11. People who end up with Windows 11 and realize how bad the deal is, get Windows 10, either put on their new machine, like this one right here, this Asus right here that I'm using, it's Windows 11 from the factory, immediately wiped and put Windows 10. I've been upgrading customers to Windows 10 all the time because 11 is just that bad. Let's see, what else you guys got here? I am going to have to go soon. Let's see. Yeah, Windows 10 and 11 versions don't mean anything anymore, like actual version numbers. A lot of software projects have started moving to this date-based versioning and ditching what we call semantic versioning. So semantic versioning is major, minor, revision, and you'd have like 1.0 and 2.0 would be majorly incompatible. 1.1 and 1.0 would be minor incompatible. Usually it's okay if you drop it in, there might be minor issues, but it'll mostly work. And then like 1.0.1 is a bug fix release of 1.0. No changes to how anything works, it's just fixing problems. So, yeah. But now everything is like, oh, it's 2024.08 or whatever. And, okay, that doesn't tell me anything about how much you're going to hose my computer if I do it or how risky it is. So versions kind of don't mean anything anymore. Yes, Windows 11 is better than it was. That's not saying much. Because it's still really bad. I mean, it's not dog slow on new hardware. Like, I've seen new hardware with the original Windows 11 NVMe SSD run like crap. It's not dog slow. Now it's just slow. Now it's just annoying. You right click and you get a weird right click menu. You hit show more options and you get a normal one. Everything takes up too much space. I'll save it for the UI documentary, which I have started working on, by the way. I've been doing a lot of research. You wouldn't believe how far that rabbit hole goes. Yeah, Windows 8 loses market share because it's end of life and because Windows 10 is accessible, and Windows 10 is largely free of a lot of the crap that made it so bad. They fixed a lot of it. I don't know anything about tiny Windows though. I don't like things that hack out basic features because you can end up in a situation where something doesn't work and it gives you a cryptic message and you don't know how to fix it. You don't know exactly why it's doing that. It just doesn't work for whatever reason. So, kind of worried about that. anyway. Let's see. What else you got? Windows 11 has made it so you can't use those UI modifiers. Which sucks, which really, really sucks. Any other questions or discussion points you'd like to bring up? I'm happy to do it. What is my editing rig PC? I have this one and I have the desktop. The desktop is a Ryzen 9 64 gigabytes DDR4 and I'm typing it out. There we go. Well, Hank, you asked about TPMs. Everybody has a TPM at this point. They've been around for like 12 years. Everybody has one. Some machines you can turn it off, some machines you can't. I don't think TPMs are the problem. I think TPMs are like secure boot. They're often blamed for the way that things are going, the way that things could go. The truth is they are tools. So I use the analogy like a door. The door over here has a lock. With that lock, I can lock someone in the room. I can lock myself out of the room. I can lock someone else out of the room. Security tools do not have allegiance. So the question is not, what do you think will happen when tool is available? The question is, what do you think will happen if tool is available and is controlled by X party? If I can control the tool, everything's fine. If the manufacturer or Microsoft or whoever controls the tool to my exclusion, that means the hardware is not mine because I'm locked out of it. Very different situations. TPMs are not a problem inherently. TPMs are just coprocessors. In the end, they're just a coprocessor. They're just something that can do things like hashing and key storage and retrieval and like file signature verification or whatever. They're not inherently evil. Security tools are not evil. Locks are not evil. It's the usage of the tool that's evil. Guns don't kill people. Bullets kill people. But the bullets are fired by people out of the guns. Neither the gun nor the bullet is inherently evil. It's the person pulling the trigger that is the question. Yes, if the door can be locked, then someone else can conceivably use that lock against you. You're right. The presence of the lock can be considered hostile. So, no argument there. No argument there at all. You don't need a TPM for encryption. If you're using Linux in particular, you can just use dmcrypt, which most Linux installers will let you set up out of the box. You don't need the TPM. What the TPM does is it allows you to verify that the operating system files, the boot files and all that, haven't been modified. So half the point of a TPM is that if you boot the system, it can verify what's asking it the question. And it can go, wait a minute, something's wrong, I'm not giving you the keys. Or, okay, everything looks good, you can have the keys. So, what do they call it? It's like the evil maid attack, I think. It's something like that. There's an attack where you leave your laptop in a hotel. A maid comes in with a flash drive and modifies your computer, and now you think you're running the same software, but you're not. That's what a TPM is designed to protect against. All right, I guess this is sort of a natural conclusion, isn't it? Not really anything else. Hell, Event Viewer's been loaded with error messages for a while, man. It's semi-useless as it is. Let's see. Yeah, take it easy, man. I think we all need to run at this point, don't we? All right. Yeah, I'd love to rant some more, but it's 1:45 here, so I probably should shut this down. I have an on-site to do. I have a pickup to do. I got actual work to do, unfortunately. Oh, well. Okay, I got a split. If there's anything else, throw it out there. I'll wait 30 seconds, then I'll shut it all down, okay? Well, it's been good. This has been good. Veracrypt. I forgot about Veracrypt, actually. Huh. It's fun how that works out. It's a big lens cap. All right. I think that's it. You guys take it easy. I'll talk to you later. Take care.